What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. I want to talk about how it's time for us to come together. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about the different factions of black power. Okay, the different factions of black power that we have in America and all over the world. Because it's time for us to get on code with each other. It's time for us to work together. In a war, you have allies and you have enemies. And sometimes you have people that were your enemy, but they now are your ally because you guys have a common enemy, okay? And it's time for us to get organized. We have groups like the new group, the Black Militia Group, what do they call? Not Fucking Around, okay? I like that. We need Not Fucking Around. We got Mega, not Mega, NAGA. NAGA is it's like the NRA but for black folks, but I think other people can join as well. We have large groups like there are a whole bunch of Hebrew Israelite groups that are huge and they're organized. We have other black organized militia groups. We have other black organized religious groups of whatnot. And what we need to do is stop fighting each other. We need to come to an understanding that if you're an Israelite and that's what you believe, okay, cool. If you are a Hotep guy and that's your thing, cool. If you are a Christian, a woke Christian, and you used Christianity as your moral weapon to fight white supremacy and things like that, cool. If you are a Muslim, the Nation of Islam, if you're part of the Nation of Islam or if you're part of any other Muslim organization, cool. If you're a non-religious, atheistic organization, cool. But we all need to come under one banner of black, African, okay? We all need to unite and understand that we will never be a monolith. We would never all be the same. So if you're a Muslim and you don't like some of the things that the Hebrew Israelites say, or you don't agree with what they say, understandable, let's keep that in house. Let's keep that in house, okay? If you're a Hebrew Israelite, and I know you got some factions that they know they're black, but they say they're from Israel, which is North Africa. So let's stop playing with ourselves. That's Northeast Africa, okay? You're African, are you black? You know you're black. Stop playing around, all right? But if you don't agree with what the Muslims say, and that one thing is the reason why you don't want to work with them to unify, to fight against our oppression, that's a problem. So you need to leave all your religion, leave that in the house, all right? We got to have our own house with our own code at the door, okay? White supremacy and the people that mean to do us harm, they need to see no daylight between the Hebrew Israelites, the Hoteps, the Christians, the Muslims, the atheists, hell, even the LGBT community. Let me tell you something. I know we get ourselves distracted on the LGBT community and we don't want them to be a part of our struggle. And then you got certain factions that, listen, those black people in the LGBT community, they have to fight too. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I believe that LGBT community, they deserve freedom, liberty. They should be able to do what they want to do and not have to be harassed or discriminated against because of the nature of their sexual orientation. Because to be honest, it's not all about sex with the LGBT community. It's not that. We may not agree with their lifestyle, but you know what? Leave that in the bedroom. I don't care, because some of the toughest and some of your most strongest allies out here that's been fighting white supremacy are gonna be part of the LGBT community. Think about it. They grew up fighting their whole life. They're outgoing because they have to be that way to overcome the discrimination they receive from the black community and the white community, and they're black. I mean, they got it all right? So let's not be so quick to try to shun them like they're not black. Let's not be like the oppressor, okay? We all need to unify. We don't have to agree with each other. We don't have to practice the doctrines of each other. We can be our own. Look, you got the Hebrew Israelite Battalion. You got the Atheist Battalion. You got the Black Militia Battalion. You got the goddamn Nation of Islam Battalion. You got the Black Militia Battalions. Guess what? We one big ass battalions. We got plenty of battalions. We got a whole company. We got a regiment. All right. The enemy needs not to see any daylight between us, because when they see the daylight between us, that's when they take advantage. All right. So we need to be mature. Let's be adults. Let's unify. Look how organized not fucking around was. We could do that. Look how organized NAGA is. All right, they're about to open up a super PAC. So that means politically they're gonna have some influence. Look how organized the Hebrew Israelites are. Sure, they wear some clothes that look kind of funny. To us, you know, okay. They say some stuff we don't necessarily agree with all the time, but the sentiment is there. All right, the intentions is there. All right, so we need to all gather together. We need to have a conference. Hey, the Europeans had a conference. You think Europeans get along? Have you ever paid attention to Europe? You go to Europe, the Finns, the Polish, the Germans, the Russians, they're not unified. Okay, they're not unified. They're fighting right now for the sovereignty of their own individual people in Europe. People think there's no such thing as really white people in Europe. There's no white people. That shit's invented here in America. They don't look at themselves like that. They are what they are. Scottish, Irish, they are divided. They are not unified. But they did unify a couple times. But that was to exploit Africans and exploit Asians and exploit Native Americans and exploit Australians. That's when they unified. When they have a common target, I'm not going to say enemy, when they have a common target, they unify. And you don't see any daylight. The daylight they call white. That's the daylight. You don't see nothing, right? You don't even consider for a moment that, you know, that person's from France, that's from Poland, that's from Germany. Those are different people, okay? And they have their own things going on in Europe, all right? Even the Americans here, the white ones here, the American Europeans, they don't even want to identify so much with the Europeans. They think that the Europeans, which are their brothers and their sisters, are weaker than them because they're American with a capital M, all right? So they're not unified, and you need to understand your enemy, understand your oppressor, understand your enemy. Just understand them, right? And we need to unify, period. Because when they see us, all they see is black. They don't see Hebrew Israelite. They don't see Muslim, Christian. They see a black person. They see somebody that threatens their way of life. That's what they see. You know, so it's time for us to do that. We've done it before. African Americans unified. When we became American, when we were forced to become Americans. When we came over here from Africa, we were fighting each other. That's how we ended up over here. Know your history. You know your history. You know what's up. The reason why we are over here and in the islands, because we were fighting each other over there. And we was tit for tat. And we would send our war slaves, we would send our war captives, we would sell them to the Europeans for some guns. That's what happened. Let's not fantasize like we were just having a hunky-dory time here and then the white people just came and took us. No, they took advantage of our disunity. You know, because we thought that they were like us. Because we've never been one homogenous group of people, even though we are ethnically, racially, we're the same. We just all have different beliefs and practices. We had that over there in Africa, right? I always like to use the Yoruba and the houses in Fulani because that's a great example, and that's the culture I'm most familiar with. You know, look at them. How can we go over there as African Americans? How can we go to Nigeria and try to work with them? And tell them, hey, they need to unify and stop this tribal crap. When we over here in America doing the same shit. We do the same shit. We got gangs that started out, Crips and Bloods. They started out as communal protection organizations. And we let the FBI and the government, we let them corrupt our organizations with drugs so that the federal government can not only ruin the black organizations in America, but also mess up South America. It was killing two birds with one stone. That's what they did. So now these LA and other parts of California got all these rampant gangs fighting over fucking colors, young. Colors. A color you don't own. We got gangs fighting over streets they don't own. Fighting over houses they don't own. They don't own nothing. They're fighting for no reason. They're all idiots and they're trash. Gang members are trash, they're trash. They live in trash. They think that they're fighting for some just cause in their neighborhood, but they think small and they trash. And we don't need to, if they're not ready to fight the real fight, if they believe that they're gangster, then how about you go get a legal weapon, train yourself, and join one of these real organizations and fight your real enemy. That's what they need to do. Other than that, they trash and they can stay in the trash. And let the real black people, let us unify and do what we need to do. And then once we do what we need to do and we get our house in order, then we need to take out the trash, because that's our responsibility. We allowed that to happen, right? Our music industry, hip hop, it was a voice. The Africans always had a voice. That 808 has always been in us. That drum's always been in us. That's been our power, our war symbol. When you hear them drums coming, you know what's coming. It's power, right? So we took our music that we would use to fight against the system, and they have corrupted it, and they made it so these artists can't even be artists. These companies, what they do, they say, hey, you're gonna rap about fucking bitches, getting your dick sucked. Every line you gotta have you get your dick sucked. If you ain't getting your dick sucked, you can't. We're not releasing that CD. You gotta say you're getting your dick sucked. You gotta say you selling drugs. You gotta say that you trapping. You gotta say that you doing codeine. You gotta do all of that, right? And if you don't do that, your music's not gonna get released. Period. And this is the white guy telling them this. This is the white guy that owns a record company that's doing this. So they put this trash out in our communities, and it programs our children. They're being programmed, just like a computer. You got to program that computer for it to work. And we've programmed our children to be trash. All right. So we have to get that out of our communities. We need to get that trash out of our communities and show that African Americans and Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Latinos, all of that trash that was infused to destroy us as a people, we need to get that out. And we need to show the best parts of us. And we need to unify with the other people that wants to show the best parts of us. We need to highlight the best part of the Hebrew Israelites. Highlight the best part of the Nation of Islam. Highlight the best part of the black militias. Highlight the best part of the Christians who want to utilize Christianity as their tool to fight oppression. Highlight the best parts. All that stuff we disagree with, keep that shit in house. Your religious and your religious beliefs, all that should go to the same place where your sexual beliefs go. In the house, in the other room, because that's your own business. But this fight is our business. Whether you believe it or not, these people ain't playing. These racist people, they're not playing. You think they playing, they not playing. They're lynching us, they're shooting us, they're killing us, they're telling us they're doing it, and they don't give a fuck at all. They don't care. So if you want to keep playing, go ahead and keep playing. But the ones that's for real, we're going to keep marching. And if you got something bad to say, move out the way. We don't need you. Remember, all black people not coming with us. Everybody not for the fight. You know, some black people rather sit back, watch Martin, watch the NBA, watch football, you know what I'm saying, drink, smoke, listen to music, and pretend like shit ain't happening. Well, if you one of those type of people, you shouldn't have anything to say. Move the fuck out the way and let the real soldiers fight. All right? So if you're not part of this movement, move out the way and just watch. All right? Because the real ones, we out here, and we need to unify. And I don't care if you gay. If you in the fight, you on my side, let's go. I don't care if you Islam. If you, I'm not Islamic. I don't care. You ready to fight? Let's go. I don't care if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you're on the corner wearing shiny clothes and you're doing all that stuff. I don't care. You ready to fight? Let's go. Let's unify. Let's get together. Let's squad up for real. Because that's what needs to happen. Because this is not a game. Life is not a game. This is about survival. All right. We need to unify under blackness, under our Africanness, and economically. That's what we need to do. We need to show that we have power and influence. And once we gain the respect of the world, because that's what we need. We need to gain the respect that if you mess with us, this is going to happen to you. If you fool with us, this is what's going to happen to you. These are our institutions. We don't need your institutions. Because a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid that if they speak out, that the institutions that they are part of, that they work for, are going to punish them by firing them. That's our problem. That's why a lot of black people are scared to open their mouths. Because my job's going to fire me. Or is the boss going to find out? Or what? They don't want to be judged. If you get fired for standing up against racism and oppression, then so fucking be it. If your bosses will fire you, you shouldn't be there for something like that. Now, if you know how to speak properly, you know how to be tactful with your words, you shouldn't have a problem. So just educate yourself, know your limits, and know when you can make certain moves when it's time. Okay? Because we're not advocating we're not trying to overthrow anything. We're not trying to do any of that. The only thing we're trying to do is be left alone, right? Not be killed. We just want to live. We want the pursuit of happiness. We want to live. We want to have our families. We want them to be safe. We want to have economic opportunity. That's what we want. That's the only thing we want. That's the only thing we care about, right? We don't want to take over the white world. We don't want to do to them what they did to us. Because if we were like them and we did, and that's what we wanted to do, it would have been done a long time ago. That's not us. But we have to fight back. All right? So all I'm saying is, guys, Stop putting so much emphasis on the differences between the different black organizations and groups that are fighting the same enemy. Stop wasting brain space thinking about the division, and let's put all the things that unite us together, and let's use that to move forward and unify so they can see no daylight between none of us. Well, that's all I gotta say. This Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. Peace.